Welcome to Neutral Voices. I'm Dr. V, and this is In Depth. And tonight we're going to have an in depth conversation about generational survival mode. How do we break it? What is it? Let's talk about breaking generational survival mode. I know most of you out there have heard of survival mode, especially these days. Thank you for hanging with us and feel free to leave a comment, chime in. How's everybody?
I'm doing all right. How
What's
you
up?
doing,
What's
Doctor?
up?
Happy to be here.
Doing real good?
Yes,
Man.
ma'am.
Anybody know anything about survival mode?
I think we all at
Yeah.
there's some level right now. I think we all there at some
Wait,
level
no,
right now.
y'all don't look like y'all know. Yeah, I believe this is a thriving mode.
Looks are deceiving.
Well, let's talk about it. And, I want y'all to think about it from this perspective, moving from reacting to living life, right? So how are we reacting to or in survival mode, and then moving into the reality of living life
Right.
in survival mode?
That's good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
Okay.
That's going to take a lot of work.
A whole bunch of it. And then some.
And then so it's going to take a lot of
But
work.
here's the thing. This is one of the topics I'll say that most people can relate to.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
And I'll say even people that's on top, even the thrivers,
Right.
Absolutely.
Maybe at one point in your life, you can say, I can relate to that. Or I was in college and I remember when, right? And I was moving from week to week,
Right.
check to check, trying to make stuff happen. So, I believe our viewers and listeners can relate to this conversation for sure. So, no shame in the game. We just going to be transparent about it. If you want to share some of your stories, feel free. No judgment. But let me say this so we can clear some things up, because you probably heard this. Some people say that people are lazy, like they're lazy if they don't have an account, or, they haven't saved any money, that they're not motivated and things like that. And I don't tend to agree with that, but I know a lot of people, I've heard people say that as far as people's bank account and their living arrangements, and people try to judge them from the outside looking in and just be like, something going on. So maybe they're lazy, etc. They don't have any ambition, no motivation. But if we think further back to I want to say almost our ancestors, but not that far back, but just our parents, grandparents.
Right.
Do you recall them being in survival mode? And it's crazy because when you're a kid, you think you got it all, right?
Right.
Sometimes you feel like,
I could go back today. I would.
Yeah. So, kind of
Absolutely.
look at it from that perspective. What does that look like for you when we think about that? I got some stories in my head, but just for you guys to kind of chime in.
Gotcha.
I think one that stuck out to me, because I was raised, it was just me and my dad. And he was a janitor at Fort Wayne Community Schools, and he was a mechanic at right there on the corner of Pontiac Chapman.
Oh, okay.
And so him working a lot, we didn't have a lot of fancy things. I remember one time we came home and the lights didn't work
Okay.
for whatever reason. I didn't know. I was a kid. I didn't know that was him survivor. I didn't know anything about that.
You didn't know that he was, as they say, check to check.
No, because I was in elementary school, probably fourth grade. I had no idea. We just went over to my grandma's, and then the next day we went back home. So that's probably my earliest example, I would say.
Okay.
He never had a fancy car until like I was probably in high school. He always had junker cars, but we always got to where we needed to go. I never was without. So I didn't know that my dad was in survival mode, but being a single dad, I'm sure he was in a janitor. I'm sure he was in survival mode a lot.
Right.
I'll say for sure, for me, I can definitely come up with a whole bunch of different stories, but for sake of conversation and just the time that we have, my father, for sure, one of the things that he shared with us was that he just brought the money home. And he said he gave it, to my mom because she knew how to make them dollars multiply.
Right.
He said
And
it just
stretch.
seemed like they
Yeah.
never. He said in her hands, it seemed like the money never ended.
Right.
And I'll say that's what I experienced. So in my house, I thought we were more than middle class. You know, I knew we weren't like the Huxtables,
Right.
but I felt like we were more than middle class. But once I learned we weren't, and you know how the Good Times said what they said. I can't think of it. Well, anyway, y'all know the movie Good Times or the series.
Yes.
So y'all thinking about those words,
Right.
and so I just remember I wanted to always watch Good Times. It's because I felt like I could relate. So, but I'm saying it didn't feel bad to me,
Right.
you know. So I don't know. We was making it together, right?
Yeah.
We did.
But yeah. So, but
Keeping your head
anyway,
above water.
yeah. So there you go. That's it. Keeping our head above water.
Making a way when you can.
There you go. I knew y'all knew the words gonna help us out tonight. But yeah, so that's all I knew. I guess we were keeping our heads above water. So to me, it didn't feel like a struggle. So, but anyway, so what about E? What you know about this subject?
Constantly in survival mode.
Okay.
Growing up, I mean, it wasn't nothing. That's what we did. I mean, that's how we maneuver. Even though you would have probably seen me and be like, "Boy, you got it looked good on the outside,
Okay.
but on the inside, yeah." I mean, we kept food. I mean, people fail to realize. I had a family where if one person didn't have, everybody came.
Gotcha.
So if we didn't have something to eat, everybody ate. I mean, even during the week, in the middle of the week, you think we having a cookout, but the reason is somebody don't have. So we banded together. So I mean, constantly in survival mode and moving into the point where we just look good. And that's one of the big wars.
Looking good in survival mode.
I'll talk about that later.
Dressing it up. I got you.
Yeah, you look good.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that hood good.
Yeah. that hood rich,
you hood good, where you looking good, but inside is gone.
Okay, well let's try to define what is survival mode. So either of us. So what is survival mode to us?
I think it. I know I'm not even going to go dictionary, but I'm going to say it's self-explanatory in the sense that we all are at a point where you have to survive, and that's your drive. You know, when you wake up in the morning, I think it's in our mantra. I think we say that every day, because think about it. We try to make it to the next day or to the next situation. We try to make it through. And we always telling ourselves, and I think we keep ourselves there because we're just trying to get to the next day, the next week, the next paycheck. That's our whole mantra a lot of times. And we say that. Ask somebody how they doing. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it. I'm getting by. You know, and so I think, and you know, there's you speak about it a lot of times, the life indefinite tongue. And I think we put a lot of that on us because we don't try to move, but we say, yeah, you ask somebody on a day, huh? You know, I'm just trying to get by. You know, I'm making it in this world. Y'all hear this, you know, and I think that we've been indoctrinated in that sense that that's what we have to do. We just got to make it to the next. And I think that's how we live. We've been programmed. We've been proven that. And we just believe it now. We just believe that that's all we're here to do is to survive.
You know, some players, I'm going to chime in on you on this one. And you saying trying to get by or get to the next day. Some people look at it trying to get to the next problem.
That's true too.
And that's a mindset.
Wait, no, you saying anticipating the next problem.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's another problem coming. And so I just need to get through this one so I can get through the next one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like your mindset is gone at this point because you so stuck in, okay, I got this problem, but you predicting the next problem by saying I'm trying to get through the next problem.
I'm getting out of this
Through
storm
into the next problem.
storm,
That's when we are paying bills and handling the different emergencies that come up, fixing problem after problem, but rarely ever getting ahead.
Right.
Okay, so so just kind of thinking about that. So, Devana, you got to look. And
Ooh,
you're doing some deep
that was
thinking.
rough over there.
You're doing some
I
deep
said, whoa.
thinking. Yeah, I
just-
was going to say, what are you thinking right there?
I never thought about thinking about the next problem.
Okay.
That blew me away. I just never, when I'm working on this storm, I'm just looking to get through the storm, whatever, come out on the other side and just go on. And when the next storm shows up, it shows up.
Right, but you're not anticipating another one
That
coming. Even though
sounds so heavy and stressful to me and negative.
Yes.
I read a book, I trying to remember what it was, by Valerie Burton, and she said in there, one takeaway I had was always have something to look forward to. If it's not every day, at least every week. And she said it doesn't have to be you're going to Hawaii or something like that. It could be I'm gonna treat myself to a ice cream cone on Friday.
Right.
And it's just always to have something to look forward to.
Right.
And I told my kids that, I tell my friends and people that is, but that.
That, and you know what? And you know what?
You never thought about it like that? I never
No.
looked at a situation, look at people on how they
That
move.
sounds terrible.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
But if you watch people, certain people, I ain't saying everybody, right? But if you watch people and study how people move or how a person is moving in their life, they looking to get through this problem to go to the next problem. And it's not to they don't have nothing to look forward to in a positive way, but they so far in survival mode, all they can think about is the next problem.
Wow. So, okay, so thinking about that, and so that's what's good about the panel, because you got different perspectives, different, we come from different backgrounds, same community,
Right.
so
Yeah,
to speak, but different backgrounds, different upbringing. And so I say that to say, depending on what is looking like in your house, on your block, as connected other family members, relatives, if you didn't have, then you borrow, y'all bring it together, make it happen. So sometimes, depending on the situation, you never really knew you were in survival mode. So thank your parents and grandparents that they were able to do it so smoothly.
Right.
So hats off to our parents. I'll definitely say hats off to my parents who made it look effortlessly.
And my grandmother's as well. Because my grandmother, my grandpa had died, and she was there with, was it 9 kids?
See?
Both my grandmothers, actually, and they just made it happen.
I'm just
like I said, I felt like we never missed a beat.
And so that's
Never
what I'm saying.
missed a
So
beat.
who do we credit for that? And so thank you to our parents and grandparents.
For sure. Absolutely.
I just spoke to a gentleman that's much older than I am, and we were talking, and he made something sound so simple, but it was so profound. He said they were raised on a beans and rice generation, but that was the best, the happiest that they were. Where we're looking at like beans and rice. Oh, if I'm eating beans and rice, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, But he was like, we got beans and rice, we good.
Yeah.
So I think it changed that. I had a conversation with a pastor, and I said this, and he agreed with me to some point. And I was like, when we started making everything with a dollar sign to it, attached to it, I think that's when we began to be in survival mode. And I was talking to him, and we had a long conversation. And one of the things I talked to him about, and I said, Pastor, I say this in all due respect, because I'm a believer. I go to church, so you know this. I said, but I think, and we got on the church, and I said, the church has become, I think it became problematic, or it became situational when they started putting dollar signs on tithes. And this is why I'm saying, when they made it all financial, because in a time where when farmers, and this was not many, many years ago, but if I was a farmer, I brought some of my crops to the church because I didn't have the finances. But that went to other people in the community, and they began to help, and we helped each other. And also, and what I'm saying is, but, and I know everybody gonna say, not everybody farming, because I looked it up. It's only 1.5% of farmers that are black farmers in this country since Reconstruction. And it's crazy that we're not farming anymore. But here's what I'm saying. But think about if farming, be it churches, be it neighborhood, be it whatever. If Eric grow beans, you grow corn, I grow tomatoes, she grow greens.
Right.
We get it all together. And then it's not a survival mode because we have something to look forward to because we're dependent and we're working within ourselves and everything. And I'm gonna give E because I know he's gonna go in on it. But I think if you look at the Black communities pre-civil rights, they didn't live in survival mode. You look at a lot of them. You look at a lot of them, and they were successful because Doc V, you're a hairstylist. I'm a cabinet maker. Eric, masonry. We supported each other's businesses
or bartered.
And we kept that money flowing within our community, within our circle. Yeah. So we didn't have to survive because we owned everything. Davana seamstress. I wasn't wearing Versace. I go to Davana and you make all my clothes.
Yes.
So I think when money became the center of all of our attention, I think that's when we started living in survival mode because we're living for the next, whatever, as Eric said, the next build, the next fashion, the next new something, the next this. And we put ourselves in survival mode because as much as I make,
that's how much
I have to spend.
Oh, absolutely.
If I make it, I got to spend it.
Okay, now, so that's where I wanted to get into some of this the hard talk, the hard conversation.
Come on.
You got the Holy Ghost over there.
So now let's talk about that. So here we are in survival mode, but we still trying to buy our kids. I hate to say Jordans because there's so many other gym shoes out.
But that's the one.
That's the
one.
But can I say we're trying to buy them designer?
Yeah.
Gear
Balenciagas,
or whatever.
You can't even pronounce it.
Balenciagas.
You can't even spell it.
But you pay
$500.
Yeah, and so, but then watch this. This is the part that get me. Somebody just today was talking about, but you got a whole sleeve, and we nothing against tattoos, okay?
Please
but you got a whole sleeve. And no insurance.
Right.
Wait, and I'll say it the way she said it. No,
I got insurance.
She talking about you.
So, nothing against anybody else, but just think about this. But own it if it's you. So are you the person, and you actually do, you have multiple tattoos or piercings or, can I go there? Hair weave that costs $400 or $500. These were the things that we talked about, but yet you have an expired car tag, or you don't have any insurance. Or you sleeping on an air mattress, but you got your nails hooked up, etc. Do you have a life insurance policy? Do you have one for your children? There's so many other things to look at.
Sure.
So, but when we're talking about, let me just get this plug in there real quick. This is Neutral Voices, and we are having a conversation about being in survival mode. So breaking generational survival mode. And so thank you for joining us. But so meanwhile, thinking about the things that you're doing and spending money, do we have anything in place just for our preventative care as we go to the doctor?
Right.
So talking about just health care, etc. But do we have anything in place for preventative care and future planning and any of that stuff?
Well,
a piece of a savings account.
I got to step into this one.
Yeah, I got something.
I'm going to step into this one. And this is one of the things about being in survival mode. And we all grew up in survival mode. Most of us. I don't know about y'all. But our parents didn't know, a lot of our parents didn't know anything about investing. Didn't know anything about life insurance.
Right. No.
Unless it was at their job.
Right.
They didn't understand. So how can they teach something
That they don't know.
that they don't know?
Yeah.
So if you don't know it, you can't teach it. All I'm teaching you is
what I know,
how to survive, how to get check to check,
Correct.
how to hustle, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So if I don't, like now, I didn't understand all that until I went to school. I didn't understand all that until I got into life. And by that time, it's like, what the heck?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But now at this generation, at this point in time, kids can pick up their phone and read and learn anything about financial support, financial responsibilities. And nowadays, like me and my kids, they understand how to save, how to move.
Right.
It took me a long time to even get $1,000 in my savings account.
Right.
Because guess what? First thing I wanted to do when I got that
Go buy
check,
you a watch.
What you gonna do?
Go buy some, go out.
stop looking at my watch. I still go buy watches all the time.
Yeah.
But the first thing I wanted to do go look fly.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to the
Yes.
club this weekend.
Goldie fly.
Yeah, I
no
gotta
matter
go get
what.
fly. I gotta boom, gotta get the haircut, gotta get the
Right,
beard
right.
done. But now at this point of my life, it's like, for what?
I agree.
Why? I'm going to Walmart and I need a sweatsuit and some comfortable flip flops.
But listen, while we can, I'm glad, and since this is a serious subject, but I'm glad that we can laugh at, at some of the things and some of the
Yes.
experiences that we have had and been through and survived. But I do want to share some of these things. So some of the things that we don't think about, when it comes to being in survival mode is that some people have unsafe housing conditions, and so, thinking about that, and I've seen people living in those
Right.
conditions, and that's where it's a heartbreaker.
Right.
And so thank
I see it
goodness
daily.
I
I
was
see it
getting ready
daily.
to say, thank goodness we have programs and different systems in place to help people. And Clarence, you might be able to
Well,
share something.
I agree with that to a point because I just made a mention that it's sad that my job is a needed job. It's sad that my job is a needed. I'm gonna work it, but it's sad that my job is a needed job.
right.
Yes.
But when we talk about systems, I'm gonna flip this just for a minute,
Okay.
Doc V. I think survival mode. We've been conditioned to be in survival mode because of certain systems, because of certain things. Because as I was saying about the church, if the church no longer, not all, I'm not saying all churches, but they'll rather refer you to Bright Point or Can I instead of them helping you. And I'm not saying all churches, but I've seen it. They'll refer you out. And then we go to Bright Point. We go to the welfare office. They have so many restrictions on us. Housing authority, all of them. So the problem is we try to survive under their rules, and we're not going to move forward. I know women that say I'm not working this many more hours because they're going to cut my child care. They're going to cut my food stamps. They're going to cut my this or that. So we're surviving to stay within those systems. We're surviving just to stay that we don't get cut off. So we're only surviving by the yokes that those systems have put up on us.
Okay.
We can't see beyond those, and it's sad. Go ahead.
But I mean, and I was thinking. So let me thank God that there are systems in
I
place.
agree.
So that's what I was saying, that there are opportunities for people to be helped and be able to help themselves. So let's just look at it like that.
Yeah, I give you that.
Everybody don't get on it and stay. And some people get on it, they need the help, and it moves them to the next level.
right.
So
That's true.
they use it as a catapult. So that's why I said thank God for that. But let me just deal with this real quick. So, looking at our grandparents, parents, etc., do you think that we developed a scarcity mindset from our living back then, or was it passed down? I mean, we always talk about things that's passed down and inherited.
Right.
So the mindset of, we talked about poverty mindset, but survival mindset.
I'm glad you went there.
How do y'all feel about that?
And I think the survival mode is not only in poverty. I think it's a cultural. I think it's an ingrained thing of our community of people. Because think about it. The great poet once said, I'm trying to quote
The
it.
poet.
Yeah, I'm trying to quote it. But he said that I know you got a lot of money from all those songs that you made, but he said, I live by the beat. He said,
Andre 3000.
yeah,
I love
he
about
said,
the beat now, but yeah.
he said, I know you got a lot of money by all the songs that he made, but he says, I live by the beat. If you don't move your feet, I don't eat. He said, because like you live from check to check, we neck to neck. So as I was saying, think about these athletes. They're trying to get to they're surviving to their next max contract. But then when that contract runs out, where are they? Because again, they trying to live. The survival mode is I'm trying to live this life. And as this life is being lived, and you say, how do we get from survival mode to living life? You got to find peace in who you are. I don't think we're satisfied with getting our needs met. I don't think if we get food, shelter, and clothing, I don't think we're satisfied.
Okay.
We need something more. We always need something more. And I was talking about this. I don't need a Cadillac if my hoopty can get me from point A to B and I don't have no problems. It's paid off. But no, since my hoopty paid off and
But
Eric
you know you're
got
keeping up
this
with
new-
the Jones.
That's what I'm saying. Eric got this new Benz, so I gotta go get what Eric doing. I don't know Eric pockets. I know mine, but I'm
You ain't know he had a
I'm
chick
trying
on
to-
the side
I'm
that
trying to
was
live in
You
Eric's
know,
pocket.
so I'm with you on this one,
buying
Clarence.
those gifts.
I'm right with you because the simple fact people don't understand what a person go through
Right,
to get
right.
to that
Right,
level.
right.
And we so busy trying to look, oh, he got this, he got that, not knowing the sleepless nights, not knowing the ramen noodle dinners on there, not knowing, hey, I'm cutting off all the lights, ain't nothing
Right.
coming on. I'm walking through my house dark purposely to save money and to move to that next level. And you say living scarcely because the simple fact, guess what? Our parents live scarcely.
Okay.
They moved scarcely, but we didn't see it growing up because guess what? If I wanted that Nintendo,
Yep.
I got it.
Yep.
If I wanted them shoes, I got it. Not knowing what my mama
Had to go.
had to go through to get it. She ain't paid the light bill in 6 months just so I could get
Oh,
that.
my goodness.
And not understanding that part.
And that's a side to it. So like you said, or she's working more hours on her
Hours,
job.
yeah.
That's a
Right.
whole nother thing. And taking time away from being with the family.
Right.
So, but you missed that. You didn't
Yeah.
really get that.
Right.
So that's one thing. So scarcity, the fear-based decisions, things that you do so that you can feel safe in your movement with the whole survival mode. You know how people were stocking up stuff at one point,
Right.
overstocking.
What was
and
it, 2K?
Stock so
Y2K.
much that
Y2K?
you
Man,
stock
that's no,
so
3 weeks ago. Right.
I'm just saying you stock so much, so
That's
much
3
stuff.
weeks ago.
COVID with the toilet
yeah,
paper
COVID.
and all that.
Your water got outdated and old, but the whole scarcity, we experienced that, the fear
Right.
and all of that. But so stability requires intention. So as we, obviously there's so many things for us to talk about. I wanted to talk real briefly about the mindset and cultural, from a cultural perspective, D. So, what do you see when you think about the cultural perspective, how we view things, how we deal with things culturally?
Kind of piggyback off stats. You don't know what Doc V had to go through to get that whatever she drives.
Yeah.
My car paid off. My little Nissan Kicks is paid off. So if I don't know how much your car payment is. I
Right.
don't want to know. But like he said, my car gets me where I need to go.
Absolutely.
And I told my kids that a long time ago. You don't know anybody's story.
Yeah.
So you don't know Doc's story. She might be selling drugs. You don't
That's
know.
it.
You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
Yes.
So you don't know people's story. And just because she's driving that and I'm driving that doesn't mean she's better or I'm less or anything like that.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like it's very, maybe we look through rose colored glasses.
Yeah.
Is that how that goes?
Yes. The world looks better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
you'd
when
rather
you talk
have
about the thinking and the movement, etc., as far as the mindset.
Can I speak on that, Dr.
Yes.
I believe it's a real problem in our culture, in our neighborhoods, because I'm going to put two cultures. Look at the Hispanic culture and look at the Burmese culture.
Mm-hmm.
They can live 15, 20, not people, families
Deep.
in houses.
That's great.
Yeah,
And you'd never know that they have problems.
that's what I was gonna say, because I was gonna ask D as far as family, because I know she be on them
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
And he be
On them
But-
kids.
yeah.
But
so
you don't know that they have problems. And then when one leave, they still got to pay back into the community that they were in. I can go open a store, and because this community helped me fund the store, I got to pay back in the community. But they're gonna move somebody else right back in there. In that community, we won't do that. Man, we so quick to get out of our mama houses. Not only that, we so quick to put our children out. At 18, we so quick to put
Gotta go.
You
Not
gotta
me.
go. You so quick, or
Gotta go.
or we don't let our children build within our household. If you 18 and you working at McDonald's, you could be 15 or 16 throwing paper out. You got to pay rent. You got to pay the light bill. We don't give our children. So we start them in that survival mode. We
Yeah.
get them before we teach them.
I didn't.
how to
I'm
move.
with you
No,
on
I
I'm
didn't.
just
I
saying,
don't.
But it has happened.
Right. Absolutely.
before we can equip them to not stay in survival mode, for them to save up, for them to build up, for them to go out into the world. Other cultures, other communities, they do that. They gift it. But no, you and this, and I was talking to somebody. I was talking about the athletes. We ingrain our young athletes. The first thing you do when you get out of, or anybody successful in your family, you got to come back and take care of everybody else.
Like MC Hammer.
Yeah.
You saying that's what they say to them, or that's what they should
That's
say?
what we make them feel. We make them feel.
Okay.
You have to come back and, other cultures don't. They like, go and do your thing. But we
because I don't owe you nothing.
Well, I mean, Clarence, on that point, we do make a person feel once they make it, they got to come and get you.
Listen, I didn't owe you anything when I was broke. I didn't owe you anything when I was broke. So I don't owe you when I'm rich.
Well, see, but
you owe me.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing about it though. If I come up, I'll put my hand down. I'm trying to bring you with me. I ain't trying to put you on my back.
Yeah, but see,
that's different.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna lay down and say, okay, I'm gonna give you a lifeline to get to where I'm at, but I'm not putting you on my back and carrying you. I refuse to do that. That's just dumb.
Okay. So would y'all say, so when we're in survival mode, we're more in reaction mode, not planning?
Right.
So what we need to do
Just learn how to respond.
Learn how responding, but if we're gonna leave a legacy, we need to get in legacy mode.
Right.
And so part of that is planning. And it's funny because as I was looking at the word planning, then I looked what comes next was plant was in my mind. So this is like the little rhythm I came up with. So plant, then have patience. Watch, patience during the process, produce with or on purpose.
Yes.
And so if you, as they say, look, this is the Bible say to us, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
Why? So it can just sit there on paper? No, so you can read it, or he that read it can run with it.
Come on.
So you need to write it, and you need to keep reading it. But in the middle of all of it, you need to be patient. It's seed time and harvest. It takes a little bit of time for certain things to happen. So you have to do that so that you can eventually make it to the purpose. And so eventually, it's about planning. But before we get out of here, we've been talking about breaking generational survival mode and what that looks like. Some of us were able to feel it while we were growing up. Some of us were in it, deep in it, and didn't even know it because our parents and grandparents were so good at making that money stretch, and you never missed it, right? But what would you guys say right now to someone that's feeling today? They're feeling stuck. Times are different. I just talked to somebody about shrinkflation today, about how they put those dimples in the bottom of those bottles and all the different containers, and you don't even.
I bought a sandwich from somewhere the other day, and then
was it smaller?
2 years ago it was big, and I was like, man,
what is this?
I was like, what is this?
And
it's a slider.
And so so just thinking about that. So what would you guys say, looking in the camera, helping somebody that's actually stuck right now in survival mode?
Well, I can go, and I said this, and here's my take. You have to be, as Doc B said it, but first of all, you have to be comfortable within yourself. And when I say that, if your needs are being met, live within your means, live within your needs. But again, we try to live above and we try to live beyond. If you got food, if you got shelter, if you got, clothing, if you got all of that, and you don't have to worry about anything else, why put more on you? So live within your means. And also, as Doc V said, live purposeful. Start planning, not only physically, but for the future. Get yourself in order.
Okay. D?
I would say, kind of like Stat said, always. Well, actually, it was you, Doc. Have a plan. Always have a plan. Have a plan. I say always have a plan. And like he said, be confident in that plan.
Okay. E, what you got? Your words. Somebody right now, they going through it.
I'm just going to say keep it simple and plain. Go in your prayer closet. People fail to realize when you go in that prayer closet by yourself, don't take nobody else with you. Have that conversation, write it down, and execute.
I love it. And then some of the other things that, and this is a no-brainer, of course, we talked about parents. So parents, teaching your child early about money, about respecting money. We just talked about how people just overlook and walk over pennies.
There ain't no more pennies.
And I was going to say, so we're going to have a whole panel discussion about the penny.
About that.
Exactly.
Because I got a whole drawer full of
Yeah, we got a lot of
we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to let y'all know who is definitely not taking any more pennies nowadays in the community. But so parents, so you have to do your part. Start there. Start teaching your kids about saving, but make sure you're saving. So be that example. And then, it's okay to schedule therapy. I know some people talk down on having a therapist, but sometimes you need somebody to help you see, where are you losing ground? Where are you losing money? Maybe you're wasting in places and you don't even realize it because you're making your payments late and you always got some money attached to all these late fees, whether it's your credit cards or your bills. There's money that may be evaporating and you don't know it. So sitting down, talking to somebody, having a therapist, that will help. But watch this. Right in E, you said this, family conversation. Have the talk, reach out to one another. You support each other. It's more than just borrowing sugar, right? So have a conversation, and it's definitely more than borrowing money, because the Bible tells us to be a lender, not the borrower. Right. Yeah. So doing that, good conversation. What else? The best of all, what I have a problem doing. Resting without guilt.
Ooh, child,
it's okay to lay it down. Didn't Jesus rest?
Yes.
I'm just saying, didn't God rest when he was creating the world? Didn't he rest? Didn't Jesus go to sleep on the ship?
And Lady D does too.
So it's okay to rest.
Sleep.
But watch this. But rest, and the other part of that was without guilt. Not feeling like you're missing out on taking care of somebody else or doing something for somebody else. And y'all know what this means. Our time is up. Our time is up, and we have to go. But I just, before we leave, I want to respect. Do we have any comments, anything else that we have to get out there? Just respect to our audience.
You just said something in it.
Yes.
And I just thought about this. Also, learn how to budget.
Yes.
Learn how to utilize the dollars in which you get. I remember growing up, we had coupons. I don't know if they still have coupons. I know they still have them because I see people that are these fanatic couponers. I mean, use coupons and, things like that. Learn budget. Learn how to budget.
Yes. Yes. I love this. And I have to read this because this is so powerful. This comes from somebody here large and in charge. And I love this. So I want to say this to our family that's listening. So you are not behind. You are not failing. You are a survivor. And you get to choose to build. Let it be a choice. And I love this. Survival kept you alive, and let your vision move you forward. Now watch this. I need this on a t-shirt. Let's stop making it and let's start building it.
Amen.
I love it.
Amen.
There's too many people out there making it.
Yeah.
So right here, Neutral Voices, we gonna be building it. So y'all need to be building it with us.
Amen.
And that's our time. And before we leave you, we say thank you. And E,
always protect your mind.
A podcast by Neutral Voices Media Group, NV and Day.